Welcome. It's another Monday, possibly, depending on when you're listening to this, but it's definitely another X and One Legion cast, and I'm here with Mitchem and Matt. How's it going, guys?
Tired AF.
I feel that.
Done.
I think I said it last episode, but yeah, that seasonal Legion depression has really set in, and just it's tough.
Which is weird because it's holiday season, so like we should be uplifting and cheery. And
I just feel like everything's just so much busier this time of year.
Hmm.
I just have there's just no free time. But
yeah,
but I'm here. I'm ready to go.
I finally got my second game in this month. Woohoo! Looking back through my stats and like, man, I played like 12 games in May and April and June. I barely played 2 games this month. Ugh. That's sad.
I don't know the last time I played a game physically.
Oof. Probably a tournament, right?
No, it was. I think it was yours and ours. I think we
it was yours
played a
and ours,
game.
yeah.
Yeah. Clock time. We've been
That's
playing
what it
on
was.
clock time.
We
Yeah.
played at HQ and we got those awesome sandwiches afterwards.
Oh yeah, banh mi.
Banh mi, solid. Never
You
had
like banh mi, Matt?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm also a fan of
food.
many other foods. So it's, I don't know if I'm a critic.
Low bar.
But yeah.
Is that what you're telling me? That's fair. But I tell you what, we don't have a low bar for. That's hobby harassment.
Well, about that.
We have a high bar.
About the high bar. So I have done. I started a new job last week, and it's been a lot. So I've done nothing for hobby.
So you're gonna pull out that fully painted Fluttercraft, right?
Absolutely not.
Just
Hey,
totally
okay. Fluttercraft
Saber
update.
tank.
Fluttercraft update.
This is what I want. It's fully
It's
painted.
still in its plastic. Wait for next episode. But I do also. I am getting some Flashpoint stuff here.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's shipping for.
It's going to be
some
here
of us.
tomorrow, supposedly.
Oh,
So hopefully
exciting.
by next episode, I have an assembled Fluttercraft and some painted other minis. That's my
Awesome.
goal.
And there's probably an unboxing up on our channel for the Spartan edition if you happen to want to look at that.
Yeah.
And that's like the full.
Yeah, it's the big.
full
It's the
launch
big.
of the game.
Yeah, it's the
It's
big
got
one.
everything, right?
Yep.
Spartans and Covenant and
The Banished.
Blood.
Yeah.
You know, we do Legion keyword quests. You guys should just test me on my Halo knowledge, Halo lore knowledge, and watch me
All
crash
right,
and burn.
maybe we'll do a comedy bit.
You see me squirm in Legion keyword quiz? Yeah, I'll squirm.
I was gonna say, people
Halo
see us
knowledge.
fail enough. I don't want to undermine the public's opinion of us too much.
I mean,
Yeah. So next
Hey,
you're
week.
on the floor already. You can't
That's what
go
I'm here
That's
for,
true.
baby. I live on that floor.
So that's me. I'm sorry. Bully me.
No, you could. Yeah, do better, Matt.
Yeah. There we go.
More
Thank you.
Jesus,
paint.
yeah. What else you got going on?
Is that table
Good,
done
man.
yet?
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. No. So I will take
That 3D
my
printer better be rolling.
next episode. I'll have something, or bully me more.
I just want to say I got unfair and cruel punishment for my hobby harassment. This is light work, okay? You guys berated me to get my 52 models done. So I'm just saying.
Hey,
And
I met
got
my
it
hobby
done.
goal, which was I had no goal. So
That is unfair. That is unfair.
did it
And
to
I'm
yourself.
making constant and steady progress.
Correct.
I did not get too much done. I did get a model done, though. I'm at 51 of 60. Finished up old Nightcrawler from MCP.
Bamf.
Bam.
I think it came out pretty good. So,
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, that's solid. Love it.
But I am starting a new squad of Black Suns. I'm going to have some green and red going on here.
Ooh, I like the dark little red.
Nice.
Yeah,
Like it.
I'll have to hit the highlights on the with the brighter red
Yep.
and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it always takes me a little bit to get going on a squad, but once I get going, then it'll go faster. It was unfortunate because I did Pikes and Black Suns the same, and by the same, each squad has its own color scheme because I wanted them to be like sub-crime families.
Mhm.
So the colors go in the same spot, but it's two different colors for each squad, unfortunately. And so finding those was interesting on the Pikes, but at least I've got the colors already picked out for the Black Suns since it's the same ones. But yeah.
Nice.
And my daughter, she took the labels off the Disney Coke bottles for me so I can paint those up. So I'll have another set. And per Mitchem's suggestion, I will weigh them down so they don't slide around the table as much.
Love
And
some
I
good
can print
weights.
those like holder things for those. I think I showed you those. I have them
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. Well,
It's
I
like
might be able to print them pretty easy myself because I think I'm about to order the P1S here in a couple weeks. So
Join us.
Early Christmas present, eh?
Bamboo Labs, hear us.
yes,
Sponsor.
Bamboo Labs, please sponsor. Please sponsor.
Hey, if they sponsor us, I'll buy one too.
Even if it's just free plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I've got the Anycubic resin printer and it's great, but trying to go like recalibrate it for doing fine detail minis versus terrain stuff just takes so much of my time. If I can have this P1S to do the big terrain pieces, and I've made other like household items to print off, and I've printed like 4 of a thing, but I've broken 2 of them just trying to get them off the build plate just because, you know, they got big flat bottoms. It's not like a little mini base.
It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. The plate, the textured plate, and I'm sorry for the people that don't care about 3D printing. The texture plate, it adheres really well, and then when the print cools, you go back later and it's just like, pop, this pops right off. Like no mess, and it has like a sweet texture on the bottom.
I'm
nice.
so excited.
I'm
so excited. But hey, that's going to be good for the listeners too, because I'm going to hopefully be able to prototype some more cool POI type stuff and other little accessories that maybe y'all will get to enjoy. But yeah, cool. So we have a podcast today.
Yes.
We're gonna hit up the Legion point changes that AMG sprung on us. Me and Mitchum did a quick unprepared positions reaction on that. But we're gonna go a little deeper into each change. And so y'all can hear our opinion on it. I'm sure others have given theirs, but and then and we'll just kind of see what we think of it overall. And then if we've got some time at the end, I thought since this will be our last episode before the Thanksgiving holiday, we could go around and do what we're thankful for regarding Legion this year. So it'll be a good time. And maybe something else will happen this episode. We'll see how I'm feeling.
God, I hope not.
Well, now it has to. But yes, they had a stream where they discussed changes. I will say the biggest announcement they had for me was that they are going to be addressing points and balance every 6 months in November and April, I believe is what they said. And this big improvement from 18 to 24 months, that it just felt like we were in the dark, but I think a lot of us agree that was just a holding pattern announcement till this stuff could come out. And it seems way more in line for how they handle MCP and Shatterpoint as well. They're pretty regular with staying on top of that stuff. So this makes sense. It feels way better than.
It's finally starting to pay off that they're actually taking full stewardship of the game. It has felt like the past, I don't know, 2 to 3 years since they've taken over. They have just kind of been wrapping up everything that FLG had kind of tied a boat on. It was like, here, this will tide you over for the next 2 years. And now with this new edition, this refresh, they keep reiterating this word refresh. And I think really that's it's basically AMG putting their stamp on everything. They redid the logo, they're redoing all the rules, they're redoing all the art. Like, it is them finally taking full ownership of the game. And and yes, and we've seen this in MCP and stuff like that. They do this in MCP. So it's finally nice for them to kind of actually acknowledge that they're wanting to continue this game, and they realize that it's one of their most popular, and it does well, and people want to see it succeed and stuff like that. It is nice to hear that they're listening to our complaints.
Yeah, stewarding their own game versus somebody else's game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to have the updates. Like I said, it's kind of like bad for player morale to say you're not going to update a game regularly, or you're planning on not updating a game regularly, at least points wise. So I think this will be good. 6 months is probably the best you could ask for as far as balance updates, I think, without, at least the way they develop
you don't want
the
them
game
to be overreactionary.
Yeah. So I think that's good. So,
well, I think doing every 6 months, they're able to make measured changes, kind of like what we're going to get into. Tweak a few things here and there, tweak a few units, see how it goes for 6 months, and then you're able to react and change it back or modify it even more if it didn't work. They're going to be able to collect so much data, and like they've already mentioned, I think they're doing it at some pretty unique times. I'm very interested to see the amount of data they collect from November to April versus April to November, because I feel like there's a lot more tournaments that happen between April and November than there are November through April, just because
at least two really big
New
ones,
Year.
right?
Yeah, there's a lot of big ones, but there's even more massive ones during the summer. Like, I think a lot of that, like we learned a lot since July when they announced all the changes, and a lot of big tournaments happened, and it was like, oh wow, Anakin, Gar, 501st, really, really good. And we're just going to have to live with this for 2 years. But now we don't have to.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think one thing that'll be nice for at least a data gathering standpoint is there are 2 tournaments that I feel like people are more likely to care about than most, and the LVO and the LVO Invitational, and then the Adepticon World event. I think those are 2 tournaments I could see people, going a little more try hard. I think there's, to a point, a lot,
and there's big international attendance too.
Yeah.
So it's not just one country's meta.
Yeah. And I think those will be good. And I think for at least the most part, I think for a lot of people, they've kind of dropped playing the busted Gar stuff pre-point just because of, player perception and all that kind of comes with it. So I think this will be good. People might try it back out. It might not be as much of a negative connotation when you play it, and we'll see how it does. I guess we'll get into it, but I don't think it got hit as hard as, maybe they could have. Not that they should have, but, I think they could have gone harder in it. So I think we'll see.
I think Gar's still really good. Yeah. Like, they didn't make them unplayable at all.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yep. No. And I think that's the opposite of what they wanted to do.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to find a good spot.
Yeah. I mean, they want to make measured changes instead of like sweeping changes when, like, you've only released half of your game. You don't want to go in and just rewrite everything halfway through, and they talked about that during the stream, which if you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend after listening to us go back and sit down and watch about it. I think they said a lot of good things. I think they're doing this the right direction. I think being very transparent, more transparent than they have in the past, is a good thing. And they're kind of open about their design philosophies on stuff, which I really like. So I like the steps that they're trying to make each faction have its own unique identity. And they talked about it with clones, how they felt like, okay, yes, we made them elite and they could bring all this stuff to make them the best well-equipped army, because that's what they were, but they were still able to bring 12 acts. So there was no trade-off, and I think this is a sort of a step in the right direction. And I do agree, Matt. I think they could have done it a little bit harder to make it where I think, because, it was 800 and then you do all these changes and now we're up to 1,000. So everyone's getting an extra act or two. So before GAR was running 8 to 9 and now they're running 9 to 10, maybe 11.
I feel like it's typically 10 or 11 for
And
them.
I feel like they should be back around the 8 to 10 mark. Like they want to
Eight
play.
might be rough, but
8 would be rough, but
I think 9 makes sense and 10 should hurt a little bit. But
if you're bringing Anakin, you can get by with 8. He's just that good. Like, he's 2 acts in himself because he's going to delete 2 things that he touches a turn. I think, typically if you're not running a Jedi, I think 9 acts should be, honestly, and I don't know what you guys would think about this, but should they have an act maximum for each faction?
No, I don't think so. I think points handles that and rank caps. As long as the trade-off is the good units cost more,
sure,
and then not as good units cost less.
Should there be different maximum rank caps for each faction then?
Well, and they've talked about potentially changing that for commanders and operatives.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind more things having different points and different factions as well. Like Rebel Wookiees going down a bit on points, I think could be good. Just because, in GAR, it's much easier to get Wookiee surge tokens than in Rebels.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting is units that overlap multiple factions is kind of decoupling them from each other because their value is different depending on the faction that they're in. So I think that would be, even with the, the Shadow Collective kind of units, Black Sun Pikes, that kind of stuff, just balancing them. I mean, that might be more work. I don't know if they probably won't do it, but I think it would be interesting because their value is different depending on what faction they're in.
I will say that the change to Exemplar and everything has really, now granted, Anakin is just, he's a totally different unit now, but the Paname lists are non-existent. And I don't see Pikes anywhere but in Shadow Collective now. I don't know if it's been the same with you guys, but it seems to be
people aren't running them in Shadow Collective much either.
Well, okay, that's true.
We'll see if the commando change helps. But I mean, when everyone can throw an AAT's worth of high velocity dice at you, it's rough.
Also true. Yeah, and with the cover saves or with the cover changes, it really kind of diminished their defensibility and their ability to sit on points. So,
so the other thing they mentioned in their stream, they kept talking about not imperfect balance, but asymmetrical balance was what I think they were trying to get at, which I agree, but I don't think the current missions support that asymmetrical balance right now.
Agreed.
Bringing the GAR points down might help the killing game against each other, but that's still the game GAR wants to play. And until there's more varied missions that play into the other identities more, I think it's still going to feels bad a little bit, but hopefully this will help. But speaking of feels bad, let's talk about the steady, charge, and relentless changes. So the claim here, I think, was that there was some issues with people understanding move action versus move. And to try and help clear that up, I don't necessarily know if that's true or not.
Well, I think it was to nerf guidance because I think
they said that was the thing too. But
I think Yoda Bad Batch was a really big meta in Europe, I believe, and even here in the States as well. But that, it was just winning all the time. So it makes sense. I mean, that Bad Batch shot is pretty nasty. So
to kill my boy Yoda.
They gave him a 10
has
points
occurred, my boy.
decrease, but yeah, he's
That's like okay. So
He was
not
already
to-
rough to take though
yeah.
before.
as I played, I went 300 tournament with Yoda Wookiees. That 2-pip is that's kind of the point, is to give something relentless and then trigger it out of his activation and then trigger it. So
Yeah.
I know with Bad Batch that's extra good. I'd almost rather have it been more targeted toward specifically Bad Batch because that's the biggest offender with steady and tactical and all that stuff. So it does hurt. I think it might be okay in Wookiees. I just have to time my guidance moves better. But I think it's more than a 10-point nerf. So if they were going to lower the cost, I think it should have been more than 10 points.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how often you use guidance now, because I kind of found that when I played Yoda, now this is granted back in Legacy Legion, I really only used guidance on when I played his 2-pip and gave someone relentless. Otherwise, I was trying to get him in a position to either dive in on a turn and just wreck face when he could do his 2 attacks with his mastery, or take a bunch of shots, piggyback off of Yoda. So I don't know. I think he's in a unique spot because he's like halfway between an Obi-Wan and an Anakin, and they both do what Yoda can do better. Like, Obi-Wan's the better defensive Jedi, and if you want to play the defensive game, which I don't think you can in 2.6, you take Yoda or Obi-Wan. And if you want to be aggressive, balls to the wall, I mean, you take Anakin. And I mean, he's obviously the best choice. Yoda can play both sides, but now with one of his major tool belts nerfed, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm going to play it just to see
Yeah.
what the 10 points gives me inside of Wookiees, because I've built so many iterations of Wookiee trying to figure out what to do with that. So I'll see if it does anything.
I mean, that's burst of speed.
It does obviously hurt. Yeah, burst of speed's pretty much stapled on Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey, Matt, I got a quick question. So I don't play Yoda, but he does have a card that gives him speed 3 movement, right?
Yes.
But
the
then
one
does he have another card that makes him not able to move? Or is that's only if he bursts of speed.
No, yeah. So usually you can, and I'm not the world's best Yoda player because Yoda's too big brain for me. You can play burst off of, or you can play the 1-pip off of your burst to still be speed 2 instead of being immobile because it lowers your speed by 1. Or you can, do like the backpack turn or something. There are ways to get around the burst of speed turn.
Yeah.
Or
Yoda technically does not have he does not move during the backpack turn.
He's just like yoinked along. Yeah. So you can there's a couple different ways you can play it, just depending on what you're at. Or you can, if you want to be locked in somewhere, you can keep your immobilized token, and then you're kind of like a little baby Vader. You can't be force pushed for a turn. But usually, if you're getting in with Yoda, you're in decent shape. But you're just kind of trying to play the cards to, make that happen. But no, burst of speed is definitely a must on Yoda. Force push is so expensive. It's always tough. I feel like I'm a points hoarder, and so every time I put 40 points on force push, I'm like, ugh, it's tough. But,
every time I've built a list and I haven't had burst of speed on one of my Jedi, I've missed it. I don't think I've ever missed. I have not yet missed force push in New Legion.
It's a nice to have, but I feel like
I've never wanted it.
Well, you're standing on points, so you get buried into a unit. It's a lot more rare that you want to get out of being buried into the unit, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of Jedi have escape cards too, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, but
yeah. No, it'll be interesting. I think 10 points isn't enough, but we will see. But it kind of breaks how people have conventionally been using the 2-pip, which was his best card in my opinion. But
especially with the mega squads, giving them relentless was pretty good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and this guidance in general, like, this doesn't really fix. Well,
Still a good card.
Yeah.
It's just they won't be able to shoot twice in a
the
turn.
the biggest offender was Bad Batch, obviously, but that's just guidance in general. So I just wish they would have done it to Bad Batch, because Yoda Bad Batch, obviously, you're just guidancing Bad Batch every turn.
I mean, still pretty good on arcs though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can move them into melee.
Obviously, they decided it was too good in general. It's just tough scenes for your Wookiee boy.
Maybe they could bring him back just for the card, so you at least have it for a round.
Did Yoda get an updated card with?
He got an updated. I think he might have gotten not fully updated cards. He definitely got an updated unit card.
Okay. Because I mean, if they're going to make that change, maybe they can go back and change some of his command cards to do something a little bit else.
Updated unit card. And sorry,
I don't know. My only worry would be with these changes is if they end up going a route where some units or some things or some units are able to break this rule and use charge, steady, or relentless outside of their activation. I don't see them doing that. But, that kind of opens up a whole new can of worms. Once you take it away, now you have the ability to put it back on some units.
It would have to be narrow because you can't
make it a new keyword or something. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, this is steady, but I could do it outside of my activation. So it's like ambush or whatever.
Yeah. No, I think they're
probably charge plus.
Probably gone forever.
Supercharge.
It's gone the way of Reckless Driver.
Force charge.
But yeah, no. So Bad Batch was a big offender. I feel like that was not. If I was making Republic nerfs, that was not on my list. So I know it affects other things, but I feel like this is a.
Yeah, and the other thing is standby. So another kind of nerf to Obi and the way he has traditionally been played. I don't see many people taking standbys anymore. Already, it was too easy now to just shoot them off. And now that you can't trigger these other keywords off of it, I don't. I think they might have been ruled out of the game, except for very narrow situations at this point. There's just not many boards where it's like, oh, I'm standing here, and these guys are going to come around the corner, and I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
And it's just that, especially when you can just, I'll just climb on top of a thing and then shoot you from there.
Yeah. It's so funny, too, because, like, I've been talking a lot about, how the game is fought at range 2, like the range 2 ban now, and that's prime, that's what everybody has standby. Like, that's the range for standby, but it's just, it seems almost like a waste of an activation when you could be moving when you have to move so much to get onto a POI and score, or to complete your secondaries and everything. Like, moving is so much more valuable now than it ever was in Legacy Legion, it feels like. So I feel like there's a lot less aims on the table. There's a lot less like, okay, move dodge. Well, why would I move dodge when I could just like move and A, to get cover because you have to be within half, and B, to score. So like moving is just so much more important. So, and I feel like the first thing to go is like, okay, why move standby when I can double move, get cover, and score?
Yeah. No. It's not great. But I think this is my least favorite of the changes by far. So that's good.
It's continuing down a path to making everything seem extremely homogenous to me. Like the more and more tricks you take away, the more everything is just, this is Rebels version of this, and here's Empire's version of this same unit, and I hate that. Like, it's not design I enjoy, but I'm hoping it is just growing pains, and that eventually that flavor will start going back into everything. But
and they talked about that a little bit on the stream, about how like they owned up to their mistakes. They're like, I think they even said that we may have overtuned GAR. And they talked about how they did all this play testing and everything, but they weren't able to play as many games as the amount of data that they collected, and there's people out there that are going to find stuff in the rules that are just going to be broken, that aren't, that they weren't able to see when they were playtesting and stuff like that. So it is kind of nice that they are realizing, some of their mistakes. And I can only hope that, and I know Randy has said this multiple times, but they keep talking about faction identity. And I think really the only true way to get faction identity is to have faction specific missions, like faction specific major objectives. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to bring this because my list wants to do this. I don't want 10 POIs on the table. I want 2 because I'm a small army and I can control one side of the board by super elitist troops, and I can move on to a point. I'm super defensive, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to defend this area or defend this ammo cache for how many points, and that's, but with Rebels, it's like, okay, we want to go steal as much shit as we can, so I want as many POIs on the table as I can because that's the only way I'm going to win, because all my guys are going to die, but hey, we completed the mission. Looking at you, Rogue One. So, yeah, I think that's the only way for them to get true faction identity that they want.
Yeah, it's. I don't want them to simplify the game, because then it's going to come down to, like the core stats of the units. And if everything's samey, but some have red saves, some have white saves, cover's not really a factor, then you kind of have problems where red saves are better than white saves. But I just, I think you can make flavor within the units themselves, but it might take a little bit of work to do that, and that could be missions, that could be keywords, abilities, that kind of stuff. It's just something hopefully that comes up as we progress more into this new edition of Legion.
We'll see. Oh man. Okay. Points changes. And if you're listening, if we sound like a downer, it's just because we are. No, I'm kidding. No, we still enjoy the game a lot. It's just, sometimes you critique the things you love.
Oh.
But we just want it to be awesome. Yeah. I think they do too, inevitably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the potential is obviously there for it to, improve.
Yeah, I still very much enjoy the game. I played a game the other night, and I loved every second of it. I'm really enjoying Sleeper Cell. I'm really enjoying finding my way through Rebels. I've been loving playing Han. I'm finally get to play my girl Ahsoka again. So I am personally in a good place with the game. It's just, when you enjoy playing something so much, you want it to be the best version that it can be. And when it's not, it makes you upset. So
yeah. No,
I'll be the light at the end of your tunnel, guys. Don't listen to these Debbie Downers.
But there's a lot of positives. There's a lot from this point change. I was pretty encouraged, really, overall.
Yeah, I do think these are good points changes. There was none that I completely disagreed with. One I think might be a little too much, but they could always just change it back. But one that was not too much was Anakin Skywalker went up 15 points. Maybe not enough if you ask me, but it's a good start. He's also getting a nerf to Tempted, since he can't do the charge on the Tempted move anymore since it's out of activation, right? So
that's true.
I don't think he ever could, but
that's true.
I think it was the speed X move, right? It was a speed 2 move. I don't think those trigger.
Right.
But anyway.
Oh, okay.
But point, yeah, still. Yeah, you could easily have done 20 or 25, and I don't think people would have complained. So I think he's still very competitive at 170.
Yeah. I think more of the complaint is the Tempted keyword. than the amount of points that he costs. But hey, if this is the way that you want to do it, sure. It's a step in the right direction.
I still don't know what his mastery does in 2.6. I know what Tempted does because that's
do
all
you
I
wanna
ever
know?
hear people
Do
talk
you want to know?
about.
Is this a
I
Legion
don't even
quiz?
know what his mastery
Is this a
does
Legion
today.
quiz?
No, but you can
Okay,
tell me.
so it's in melee. If somebody attacks you and rolls a blank, you do a wound to them.
Okay. Cool.
That's it.
So if he attacks a unit in melee,
No,
and
if
the
they attack
defending-
him, I will read you the.
So if he is defending against a melee attack,
Yes,
and the
if
attacker
has
rolls a blank,
one or more blanks, they take a wound.
the attacker suffers a wound.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a
That's pretty good, but
it's not bad.
it's not as good as Tempted. It's
I
not
like
as good as Tempted.
the Gemso deflect, though. Now you get deflect for free, but I did like in older Legion the guaranteed.
I don't know why
wound.
they just didn't make his mastery Tempted.
He always had dodges in old Legion pretty much, and if someone's shooting at you, you're like, hey, I'm going to do a wound back to you pretty much, and so it would deter a lot of people from shooting because it's just an auto wound.
But now he has deflect, so
yeah, now he has deflect, so. And he's got that in melee.
He's got to roll for it now at least.
Yeah,
instead of just being auto.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but and it's only one too, so yeah, it's his range defense is worse, but this melee is it's fine.
I did find out in my game the other day that Inquisitors have block, and block requires you to spend a dodge now to get Surge to Defend. I don't know if it was always like that.
Yeah, since the new edition, and it wasn't the old edition too, but so was deflect. So there was a period there where people were like, "Hey, block is better defensively than deflect because you could use block in melee."
That's what it was. Okay.
So
that's what it was.
That was right. But now you have to spend the dodge, so it is like budget deflect.
Yeah, now block specifically says ranged attacks. You can't do it in melee, but spinning a dodge it made a huge difference in me killing Fifth Brother. So
I think that feels. I know gameplay probably is a little sad, but I think it feels right, like thematically, that they're bad at all the things compared to Jedi.
Yeah, it took 3 full squads of sleeper cells to kill them, but they finally did it. So,
and with force push nerfs, Inquisitorius training, not that great anymore. So that was another card.
Make it free.
That was another card that's probably designed with this version of Legion in mind. So.
Oh, the Inquisitors, their training card that turns off a.
Yeah, it's just there's not a universal force power everyone's trying to use that is extremely good to cancel now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Because a lot of the Anakin builds I've been seeing, are like saber throw burst of speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was never really that much of a danger to burst because you were typically popping it far away, and then running in. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and if burst isn't, it's tappable force power, so burst isn't exhaust, so it's not even.
True.
It's not even. Yeah. So.
Okay. Cool. Next one here, Clone Commandos went up 15 points. I think some say that's a little too much, and maybe I think it's around the right number. Personally, I still think it would have been easier just to make them special forces as well, but I understand they want to have stuff in different slots, so that's okay too.
I think this is good. I think this makes the support slot in Republic a choice again, at least.
Well, especially when you pair it with the bark guns got reduced by 3 points each.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I don't know if
that was enough to change it. But...
So,
we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. But I think this makes the ATRT Republic ATRT a pretty attractive option too now.
Sure.
If you need points, because the ATRT with the laser is 20 points cheaper than naked commandos, and you're probably still putting HQ uplink on commandos, so you're 20 points cheaper. Over 2 or 3, so it's 40 to 60 point savings. So it's it's an option. Now, before that, when it was commandos were 30 points cheaper for 2 to 15 each, it was not really an option, I feel like. So I think it's good. And Delta Squad, I know we're probably going to get to that next.
Yeah, we can go and talk to them. They went up 5 points. which
I wouldn't have brought them up at all. I don't think they're still.
I think they were fine where they were. They're 100, so now they're 105.
Yeah, even if they were a little bit better, it's a one-off, so it's not like it's...
Yeah, and they mentioned that too in the stream, but like honestly, if you're going to bring commandos, you're going to bring you're going to bring 3 regular guys. You're not going to bring... And if you're going to bring... you either bring 3 or none. Like, I don't see where you bring just Delta Squad, unless you want to bring Delta Squad.
Yeah,
but like competitive list, it's going to be 3 commandos or no commandos.
I mean, Delta is really good at holding a point because you can't suppress them.
Yeah,
that is true.
That is the difference there. But
I mean, what they do differently is very subtle, but it actually ends up making a big difference because they have, they have the automatic recharge, or gosh, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, where the shield comes back.
Shield heals automatically or something.
They have independent recover.
That's what it is. Recover,
which is what it lets them do the HQ uplink and the shield, and they just get it back.
So they get their guns back, and they
I guess you wouldn't need HQ uplink with them, but
yeah, so you don't need HQ uplink. Yeah,
but you can, and then if you do, you get target too. So
yeah,
they can have it. They're good with an order or without an order.
Yeah, exactly. So that helps. I mean, and again, them not needing an order like commandos is nice because you could use that elsewhere. But again, I don't. And I mean, 5 points is not a lot. I mean, that's really not a lot. So
yeah, I think they just did it because I feel like people staple HQ uplink to clone commandos, and then that's a 100-point unit. Then they're like, well, if we didn't bump that up, maybe it might be too good. But
yeah,
I think the quantity of clone commandos is kind of part of why they're so good, because there's multiple. You can do multiples of them.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
okay.
And it's still cheaper than Delta Squad. So I don't know if I would have done that one, but I kind of see why they did it, but I might not have. But it's not my game.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. It feels a little like an afterthought, but I don't know if I think it's bad. I think it's fine. ARC Troopers went up 6, and I'll go ahead and throw in their Clone Commander upgrade went up 8. So total increase of plus 14 for the Boogeyman loadout that people had been running. They did admit that reliable surge tokens was just Red Save Army just having free access to surges that never get wasted. Who would have thought that would be good,
for everyone that doesn't play clones, the Clone Commander upgrade is the one that gives Reliable 1 and Inspire 1. So the ability to remove suppression and just give 4 arcs a surge that they could share, essentially making them a 3+ save army, is just absurd.
And however many of the clone infantry you have, they also have reliable.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of surge tokens floating around. So yeah, it was really good.
I forgot.
6 is kind of interesting. Like 6 is an odd number. I don't know if there's a specific target they were going for with 6.
I think that's back what they were originally when they got nerfed the first time, right after Rex Star. Okay. They got bumped up to 64, and then they got reduced down. And they were like, okay, they're kind of playable. And then New Edition came out, and it's like, okay, they're really playable. And now they're back up to 64 where they were, I believe.
Okay,
that's what
I'll
they
take
did.
Your word for it.
Maybe.
But yeah, I still think they're pretty good. And I've been playing around with the 501st just to see kind of what they lost. And you're pretty close to back to where you were, just dropping a strike team off that quad arc list. There's like 10, you have like 10, depending on how you load everything out, points to play with. But I could...
so you're losing an act, basically?
Yeah, you're losing an act, but it's not like a...
Which is what I think they were trying to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
so
really...
what is that list? Is it from 10 to 9 now, or is it from...
So it was 4 arcs, 4 strikes, 2 clone commandos, and Anakin, so it was 11.
11 before, so now you're down.
Now you're down.
Man, oh my gosh.
It's too much.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and so you're losing one of those 2 Pierce 1 sniper shots.
So now you're down to 10 acts.
Yeah.
Man, that seems like a
lot. One thing I was looking at is maybe dropping the clone commandos and just doing laser ATRTs. and then
Yeah.
you're kind of close to where you were.
And I think that's fine, having
Yeah,
three
I think
dice
that's
non-piercing shooting at you
that's
versus
probably a more wholesome list than the 2 Clone Commandos too.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's fine. I was thinking about maybe busting out some 501st now that it's not like the Boogeyman list, but
And strike teams went up +2, which
yes,
again hitting that same list archetype. Because you can totally still bring 4 arcs and 4 strikes, just not with all the commandos.
Yeah.
yeah, and the Clone Commander going up 8 is a pretty big nerf. I kind of feel bad for the other units and
command
clones
card
that
is
want to take
so
Clone
good.
Commander. Because
Command card is so good.
It's very
now,
good.
granted, the other one, the captain that gives outmaneuver and defend 1, I think that one is also very good.
Yeah, it
but
is.
This,
they shouldn't
this
have been the
one
same price.
was attach it and forget about it. Like you didn't need. You got the free surge, and you get to remove suppression. So like it didn't require them to get an order when they didn't need it. They got it was all pros. There's no cons. At least now with it being 30 points, there's maybe a little bit of a con. But I think they need to change that card. Like that's just they should not give them another area to get reliable.
Is
Reliable
Gar
should
the
only
only
be,
faction with reliable?
That can't be true, can it?
Chewie
I
has it, but
hope
it's in
not.
Gar. I think it is.
If it is, I almost wonder if they should just change it to be like you have to get an order. So it's like the reverse of independent.
Okay.
Because then it's like I'm not getting it guaranteed every
ISF
turn. I
is
have
reliable.
to at least be intentional to give them.
ISF has reliable.
I don't know
Okay.
if they updated ISF. ISF and Inferno Squad.
Okay, so they're the only other ones then.
Yeah, there's no one in Rebels, I don't think.
I mean,
could be wrong,
that might have
but-
been a different way to hit reliable other than just
That's an
Okay.
interesting change.
going at points.
I'm going to say a list here, and I think this is totally still playable. So Anakin, burst of speed, saber throw, into the fray, tenacity. I feel like that's fairly competitive.
How many points is that now?
That is 195 total.
Okay.
So it's not horrible.
Yeah.
And then this is 501st. So your single clone infantry, Z6 and a medic, 4 ARC troopers with the clone commander, 3 strikes with the sniper, and 2 laser ATRTs is 998.
How many acts?
That's 10 acts. Oh, it's 11 acts. Sorry. We're still at 11. And that seems pretty good. You're losing an arc strike, and you're gone from clone commandos to laser ATRTs.
And you don't have recon intel on those arcs?
No, but they have recon. They have scout 2.
They have Scout 2, yeah, but the Scout 3
Which is
pretty
still better than Scout 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're still doing the
The trick,
the 3 strike team shots, and then you have 2 laser ATRT shots because they have scout also.
big.
So you're probably going to get those if you want them.
Yeah.
But they can't share clone tokens. But it's not bad. I think that's not.
No. It's still really good.
That's-
That's
still
not
really
most
good.
busted list in the
Mhm.
history of Legion, but it still seems really good.
Yeah, no. Definitely didn't make them unplayable.
No.
And another thing that didn't make them unplayable was the clone medics going up by 3 points. I think it should have been 30. No, I'm kidding. I just think we've all had the feels bad of like, yes, I finally got a model off the table and I'll medic it
So,
back.
Yeah.
What I don't like. and
They're
maybe
18 points now because they went down to 15.
They're 20 now.
They're 20.
Oh, they're
And they
20.
did
They
it
were
across the
17?
board.
I
Yeah,
thought they were
so
15.
pretty much all factions medics. I think they'd gone up in 2.6 a little bit,
Mhm.
and then but they're 20 now. Yeah.
They're all 20.
They hit. Okay, so specifically looking at this, unless I'm crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Empires is 22.
Why did they nerf the rebel medic?
No
Yeah,
one was
he's-
bringing it.
I haven't brought it since.
But okay, so
Legacy.
the medic's value, in my mind, maybe I'm just a dumb Gar player. The medic's value is tied to the units that it's resurrecting, right? So
Mhm.
I get it in clones, and I get it in droids because of B2s. So like the medic's value is relative to the best thing you can bring back,
Mhm.
or the best wound.
Mhm.
So that's how I always tried to play it. And this maybe baby Legion tips. I always try to think like this unit has this many wounds and it costs this many points. So I'm trying to get more points out of my wound I'm healing than the value of the medic, which is very easy in Gar. It's very difficult in Rebels because the per mini, the cost of the units are, they're cheaper.
Half the time in Rebels, the unit is dead before you can get the medic up to them to heal them.
Yeah, but if you're healing a core, like you're healing a Rebel vet with a medic, that feels way worse.
Well, you wouldn't
than bringing back an ARC trooper in Gar.
I mean,
or
medic...
like Anakin, a wound on Anakin. He's 6 wounds at 195 points. A wound on him is extremely valuable.
Yeah. I mean, the same could be said for any Rebel Jedi as well. Like
so that's why I don't get.
Wound on Ahsoka.
I don't get it.
A wound on a guarding Chewie because he's 9. Yes, I agree. I see your point.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needed to be touched. I'm never going to bring the medic because
if you're going to bring a medic in Rebels, you're going to slap it on a bus.
Yeah,
that's 100%. Way better
because it's 12 points.
100%. Yeah,
and it's like 100%. Infinite, right? It just keeps doing it every turn.
It's cost an action, but
okay, yeah,
that's sure, good. Yeah, that's
because its bubble is pretty big, and it's Anyway.
Yeah, it's like range 1 of it, but it's a big base already, and then you're rolling for suppression and you're Rebels, so you already have a bunch of suppression mitigation anyways.
Yeah.
So I think they shouldn't have done it in Rebels. They doing it everything else seems fine. I don't know why Empire probably didn't need it, but I see where they're coming from on droids and clones.
Yeah, Empire could be pretty valuable on like Dark Troopers or
I just thought Empire's hurting right now, so it's like why?
They have some unique stuff that they could bring it on, but
just okay. So I feel bad. Here's like I'm an Empire player. I show up to the stream. It's like here's your change for Empire. We nerfed your medics, and it's like cool. Good talk.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's where I'm at. I don't think they should.
I mean, it's almost the only thing they touched in their entire
they're
army,
probably thinking Vader dues, the Vader immortal thing that people have been running around. But still, I don't think he needed a nerf. But here we are.
Yoda, we talked about -10. The last one for Gar here was -3 to the Bark Speeder Gunners. They could have put it on the base unit as well. I still don't think people are going to be running Barks. Speeders just don't have a place good enough in the game for, I think, Gar players to want to override the other 2 picks available to them.
I think... go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I would have rather they lowered the cost of the base Bark than the guns.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they could have gone down 5 points just on the base Bark.
I agree.
Now, if they wanted to go way down on the guns, then maybe we're talking. But if we're doing 3 points, just do it on the Bark.
Yeah. Honestly, I think all speeders could have gone down 5 or 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's kind of funny how they're not seeing a whole lot of play anymore. I haven't played against them.
They just everything explodes. Cover 1 is not good. And
we talked about this before. They die before you can score with them because you can't score round 1.
Yeah.
I'm sure
it's hard to hide them.
I'm sure there are people out there that can get value out of them, but you'd have to be super cagey. To do it. And I don't think
less room on the map to do that. Before on Long March, it was easy to hide them, right? But now someone's always going to be in like. Okay, a sniper shoots at them, right? Okay, yeah, they got a wound on them, but I'm still going to do the thing. But now Arcs are just going to come around the corner and blow them up.
Yeah.
And
less
survivability, less rounds, more scoring turns. So it's tough.
I think Barks want to play a different game than Rebels want to play, or than Gar wants to play. I mean, Gar wants to play low POI count and control one side of the board in the middle. Like, I think the perfect mission for Gar is close the pocket because they can rush to the middle and then have some guys protect one side, and then they can kill anything in the middle. But if you're going to bring Barks, I mean, what are Barks going to bring to that fight? They're just going to die. I mean, Barks want to play like recover the research or shifting objectives, but they can go around and chase down all these POIs and contest it. And then like get the points, get a few VPs and then die. But you want to throw your 3 Barks into the middle. So they just want to play a different game than I think Gar is better at right now.
Yeah, this is weird. because I think Barks are the worst support unit in Gar, and it's
now,
which is wild because they used to be, you know.
That's crazy to say.
Yep. But
because a few short months ago we were saying the complete opposite.
Yeah, so
it's so wild.
But
because of course with the changes to fire support and Gar losing fire support, the Bark's value has just tanked.
And cover and yeah. So here we are. But yeah, no, I think they need more.
Yep. All right. Done talking about this Gar. Let's talk about the afterthoughts here. CIS PK worker droid went up 10. Kind of goes along with the medic changes. It's just super efficient that it can heal vehicles and troops in that faction.
Beef 2s.
Yeah. Plus 10 may be too much, but
I don't know, man. Beef 2s are
I think
solid.
on this one, I'm glad they went a little more aggressive, and then maybe they can pull it back if they need to, but we'll see once them crab droids are Zerg rushing you.
That's going to be, I think, a big change, paradigm shift. Given some of those units, scouting party, bringing some things along.
Again, I feel like it's just the continued homogenization of the factions. Okay, let's give more Russian units.
Yeah,
to do that thing.
I don't disagree. It's coming from a different. So the scouting party, at least in Gar, is Rex.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming from a non-commander, but there's multiple. This could be. I'm not trying to freak out too much, but I feel like it could be a big deal having multiple crab units all with scouting party.
Yeah, and giving them to your beef 2s.
And then
scout. Yeah,
you can do something like triple crab. Is it scouting party 1 or 2? I'm not a droid boy.
I'm not sure, but still, if you got 3 of them,
correct. You could be bringing. Let's look. It's scouting party 1, so you could do 3 of them. Bring in 3 double B2 squads,
and then infiltrate mall. You've got a lot of boys on top of you quite quickly.
The B2s, I think we've had probably less than what we normally would see, just because of the stock issues with them. But they're terrifying. They're straight up. They would
definitely be more prevalent if people had the minis.
So, yeah.
Which I'm curious if that's why not a lot of people are playing Ewoks either. Just because I think the double stuffed Ewoks might be potentially competitive, but like that's a lot of boxes. It was already a lot of boxes.
It's an extreme amount of commitment to have a full Ewok army.
So many.
So I mean, I feel like a crazy person.
That's hundreds of models
with the Wookiees, and I feel like the Ewoks is even more than that.
I mean, that was part of the reason. I think that's one of the big selling points on Legion is like the model count is not terribly high. I mean, because you look at a game like AOS or GW, I mean, you can have literal horde armies. And like Legion was a scaled back version of that. It was more of a platoon style game. So like you're getting maximum maybe 30 models on the table, if that. But now with this, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, a double slinger squad sounds kind of cracked. Actually, that sounds awesome.
Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it.
Man, you should totally do it.
It came up on the Spicer Ice last episode.
Totally.
Yeah, it did.
How much does that cost?
You bring slingers?
I think it's like 70-ish.
It's 58 for just a straight up, just a double squad.
Okay. I think it's like 70.
And you only add 4 minis, though.
Trapper.
You only add 4 minis, but that's a 10-man
it's only
slinger squad.
Yeah.
Well, 10, it'd be 12 because you're bringing the axe and the...
If you're bringing the axe and the trapper, I'd bring the trapper for sure. I don't know if I'd bring the axe.
So 12 times 3, that's...
11-man unit for 68 points.
What is that? Why can't I do math? 36. That's 36 bears and just 3 units.
This is awesome.
That's pretty good. Empire, they got their +3 to their medical droid again. I mean, probably not necessary.
The attack protocols, the stuff.
Oh,
for droids.
Right, yes. That's right. The Viper Recon droid.
Yes.
Yeah, the Viper Recon droid.
B2 extra body.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Makes sense there. But yep, Empire went up on their medical droid as well. I don't. If they wanted to just bring it up 1 to be 20 like the rest, I don't know why it needed to be more expensive. Personally,
I think that's just they're valuing Vader there. But yeah.
Well, then make Vader go up 2 points.
Yeah. No, I think they are trying to be very careful with the Vader, Luke, Anakin, those kind of guys. I think they really want them to always be
Interesting.
Yeah, and I
playable.
respect that. Those guys always have to be playable, right? They are the faces
Yeah.
of Star Wars, so I get that. Speaking of faces of Star Wars, Rebels, Jedi Luke down 10 points. Great change. Great change.
No notes.
Fantastic.
Good job.
They did say that the whole notion that we might only have 40% of the game might be a wrong percentage. Not every unit will get changes. They might just get a new design card. And I think Jedi Luke here falls into that category. So they felt a little more comfortable going ahead and hitting him with the -10, which, I mean, his kit's still good.
Small critique.
Yep.
They know what percentage it is. Like, why are you telling us?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't say it other than they're
hey,
still not done, right?
They're like, hey, you're wrong. But it's like, how wrong? You know, what if it's like
do we have 90?
Yeah, it's like what percentage?
That's the fear, right?
Yeah.
That's the fear. It's like, all right, here's New Callus and Lando. Have fun. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all we talked about. So that's all
it's an odd comment. I just want it, like, I want to know. Obviously, I'm
was definitely a managing expectations. So we definitely have more than 40% is what my guess would be. Now, do we have 60 or do we have 90? And
honestly, there's a pretty big gap in there that would change my thoughts on where we're at drastically. So,
but it will be coming when we should be getting a bevy of new units for the game as well. So hopefully that whole mix will make it feel good.
Yeah, and part of it, they mentioned that April is going to be when we're going to get the rest of at least the print and play.
Yeah, and later summer for the actual card packs.
Yeah,
which is I think
crazy.
I mean, I want the cards now, but in lieu of that, because that's not happening. I think
we don't have to wait for that to get the
design. Waiting a year for it would have been pretty rough. So
yeah, absolutely. And the neutral upgrades here, Recon Intel went up +3. Recon Intel's really good. I think the only other way they could have hit it was maybe make it to where if a unit already had Scout, they couldn't take Recon Intel, but this is probably better.
I was talking about this
with Simon, rule.
Who I played the other day, and I mentioned that I think if you shouldn't be allowed to get Scout over your maximum speed. Like the maximum amount of Scout you could have should be equal to your
Okay, so you're saying Arcs can never be able to get Scout 3 because they're SB2 unit.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, I don't hate the idea. I just feel like it's probably easier just to nerf Recon Intel.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. But
this is a great tragedy in Matt's list building, because as someone who last time I played Randy brought 9 units that had Recon Intel, this is a great tragedy for me. That's a 27.
They all had their little Star Wars Apple iPads telling them to run out there.
Yep. They're like, So yeah, no, this is tough. I had been kind of playing with points and experimenting with not having Recon Intel, because 6 Wookiees with Recon and not 6 Wookiees with Recon was 30 points. Now it's 48 points. So I pretty much need to not have Recon Intel on stuff.
That's a
lot, the -10 to Yoda though, that saves you 3 Recon Intels.
Yeah, thanks. You killed Guidance. You killed Guidance, and
definitely even trade.
So they're hurting. But I guess the only good thing is that it's a nerf for everybody. So it'll maybe make the distance a little farther overall. Because
I like seeing these neutral card upgrades. I wish they would change more of these more often instead of focusing on.
Especially since we lost quite a few.
Yeah, my hot take is they don't like neutral upgrades, but in general,
they're harder to balance.
It's and they feel to be in a good spot right now. Like, I don't think there's really any that are like outrageously priced, and they have done a good job of balancing them.
I think
I
Recon
think
Intel was the one that
I think
was.
Recon. Yeah, I think that was the one for sure.
So
I don't know if there's any others that are like super, just like, oh, that's just absurd. But
Feels a little bad on Black Suns, but I'd already been kind of using them less already just because it seemed like a lot of boards I was not getting a shot anyways, even with Recon Intel. I was moving out and hiding it, or they were coming out in the bus and didn't need the scout.
yeah. Mm.
So maybe I'll go back to scopes on some of them.
Yeah, I think
Scopes
I've
is
recently found that I've enjoyed having targeting scopes on my sleeper cell more than Recon Intel.
Really good on the swingy black dice.
Yeah. I mean, I was throwing them. I mean, I was with the aims I was getting because of tactical and scopes. I mean, I was getting 11 out of hit dice almost every time. So
and they surge, right?
yeah,
So it's nice.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
almost it's staple to them for sure. For me,
You're almost getting 2 hits. You're getting 15 out of 8 when you reroll 3 black dice. So that's pretty good.
Yep, I'm staple it to them.
And last one here, attack protocols and defense protocols went up +3. I'm not a droid player.
The snails are really good. And I know we don't have a ton of snails locally.
I got +5. They went up +5. Am I wrong?
It says the +3 to
plus
8.
3 points to 8. I think that's
Okay,
right.
then this is what I'm looking at's wrong.
So
Forgive me.
But yeah,
8,
I think that's
10,
just
3.
tied to how like not restrictive AI is anymore.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that they gave other bonuses because like the attack protocols gives precise 2, defensive protocols gives
Outmaneuver.
nimble and outmaneuver.
Yeah.
The engagement protocols doesn't give anything, so I don't know why you would ever bring that. It just gives you AI move attack or attack move.
I think, yeah, that might have been the best one when AI was a thing every time.
I guess. So AI dodge. AI
I think the
aim.
defense protocols
Okay.
and I think defense protocols on a snail is already pretty good. The EXD snail. So giving a red save, 11 health, range 4 shooting thing, outmaneuver
And
is
nimble.
pretty good. And nimble is pretty good because that's just another impact shot off the top. So anyway, still probably pretty good. I don't think that's a huge nerf.
I agree. Overall, I think they did a pretty good job on these.
I don't hate any of them. Rebel Medic going up is probably the one I hate the most. Otherwise, I think they're all pretty.
I think it was just a blanket, like, okay, medics are good. Like, let's just raise them all to a constant value or whatever. So, I mean, because really the only other Rebel unit that was touched was Luke.
I still think the Gar one should be more, though, just because it can shoot back. Like, it adds a die. That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fact that it's not a non-combatant is pretty big.
Yeah.
It's been extremely good for a long time. Even like old Legion, it was a 15 point. It's extremely good.
I mean, it's all about efficiency, and Gar just is
it
the
only
most
heals
efficient
one.
faction. It's just the most efficient faction.
It only heals one, but still,
that's all it needs to heal.
It's all it needs.
You heal that, and then it's extra
all
good.
It needs.
I mean, when you're bringing Gar's the only one that still gets chipped damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the other big difference there.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say good update. I think somewhat we were all pleasantly surprised that it was happening. I know there's debate whether this was going to happen or not because we'd heard rumblings, but I'm glad it happened. So,
man, when they originally talked about moving Recon Intel to 15 points, I was like, "Whoa, that's way too much." But
personally, I think Wilshik likes to go on and like throw out really big numbers. So when you get the real number, it's like, oh, okay. Well, thank goodness they didn't do that really big number.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a mental thing. So
got that media training for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's good overall. It does. I think my Wookiees got hurt coming out of this update pretty good. I feel like it was all strays. So
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
That's how Shadow Collector's been too, just taking a lot of strays.
RIP
Yeah.
guidancing my Wookiees into melee with things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, it is what it is. I mean, I can get them in melee. They just don't get the attack.
Yeah, they just won't. Yeah,
Which is, kind of
protect
the
them. But
whole back. But,
yeah,
it
we'll
is
see.
what-
I mean, with these updates going into effect, I mean, we're gonna have LVO, we're gonna have Worlds. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of big tournaments that we're gonna be able to pull data from. So, and then we'll see them again in April. So they might change some things again. So
By
we'll see.
April, we're going to be seeing we're going to have so much new stuff. That's going to be.
I hope so. 2025 is supposed to be a big year, so
Yep.
I need to see some Ahsoka cards. I need to see some Ahsoka command cards. I need to see some Ahsoka unit cards.
Yeah,
I would like
just
to see a
love
painted sculpt.
my wish list is to play Ahsoka Anakin 501st and not have people want to throw stuff at me. So
Yeah.
do
I
what
mean,
you
you
need
just
to
play
do.
it badly, I guess.
I mean, I do that anyway.
Yeah, that helps.
But yeah, no. I'm pretty happy. I want to play some games to the new points and see kind of what I think. So play some Wookiees without recon intel, see how I feel. Play Yoda guidance without attacking out of my activation, see how it feels. So
Well, let's see how this feels,
I
guys.
thought we
we
had
made
it, man. I thought we did.
I was like, Rain's
I was
gonna
waiting
end
the
the
whole
episode. He's gonna
time.
end the
I was
episode.
so tense.
Dang it.
We gotta get our Legion key quiz in here, guys. We're heading back to the Empire, but also to Rebels a little bit. Today we're going to talk about IG-11.
Oh God.
Ooh, okay.
So
Mitchen's
Mitchen's runs to IG-11.
I got this.
I don't think this is too bad, but we're going to let Matt answer first. That way he can get some of the easy keywords out of the way.
Okay.
But you're looking at
that's a lot, isn't there?
5 keywords on his card.
There's one easy one right off the top.
Does he have Gunslinger?
He does.
He does? Okay. That's not the one I was thinking of, but there's an easier one because he's a robot. He's made of metal.
Oh, does he have AI?
No. Going the wrong way. Defensive. Think defensive. Defensive tech.
Impervious?
He does have Impervious, but that's not what Mitchen's referring to.
Okay, we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Okay, Mitchem, how about you just say it? Because I'm not going to guess it.
It's armor 1. He has armor 1.
Oh, he has armor? Yeah, I would never would have guessed that.
He does have AI. Well, it's called programmed. So he
has programmed.
He has to bring
one of his.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
That's 4.
So you guys are dust in this one. One left.
I knew he had Impervious because one time I saber threw him with Anakin, and
I forget that he is Impervious.
He red saved out on all 3 of the Pierce rolls, and I was pretty sad because it would have killed.
Awesome to me.
It was.
He has Bounty.
Nope.
No.
That's it.
That's one of his programs.
Oh yeah, it's his programming. That's what it is.
Programming. Yeah. Shoot. Armor 1 program.
Does he have independent something?
He does not.
No, he doesn't have independent. Unfortunately.
Oh God.
Shoot.
Don't do a timer. It makes it so much worse.
What is... God damn it.
Tactical?
No.
I'm cooked. Go, Mitchell.
No, that's a
We were looking for Sharpshooter 1.
Oh.
Sharpshooter 1.
Right.
Dang.
Man, I love bringing IG.
Yep. And his bounty programming. He gains bounty and AI aim attack. And if you choose a commander as the bounty target, he gets Pierce 1. But if you choose an operative, he gets suppressive.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't know that.
Yep. And then in Rebels, he can take the
nanny program.
The nanny protocol, right?
Mm-hmm. What does that do? For not
he
me,
could take
Grogu
as a counterpart, and he gets AI move dodge, maybe?
Grogu's a counterpart's not that bad, actually.
Not now.
That's better than I used to.
Yeah, not now. Give him an extra wound. That's basically
it's AI dodge move.
AI dodge move, okay.
That's not bad at all.
Especially with AI being not as big of a pain anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to keep them within range 3. I've enjoyed. The only thing I don't like about IG is you have to take his 3 pip, and it really throws off the command hand a lot because it's basically just like a throwaway card. And the 3,
At least
the
you don't
3
have to
slot-
play it.
Yeah, it
with
matters
the-
Yeah, you
less
don't
now.
have to,
Yeah.
which is nice. But like, I need something to play turn 1. So if I bring him and Han, I'm not playing Han's 3 pip on turn 1. So
Time to start running Lando.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the way you do it. You play Lando and you throw that in this contingency, so you don't have to play it at all.
I don't know if that's going to be a thing here come April, though. I think
Contingencies might change a lot.
If they're doing Callus and Lando,
Yeah.
they probably will.
I was like, what do those things have in common?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flaws and
Honestly,
contingencies.
Yeah, you can play 2 command cards at once.
Oh shoot!
So, yeah.
My wild prediction. Well, yeah, we're kind of drawing near the end here, but before we head out, let's discuss what we're thankful for Legion wise this year.
Oh man, there's just so much to talk about.
I'm going to go before you guys take it. I'm thankful for the podcast.
Gosh dang it.
Oh wow.
Haha. No, I think it's been good. I'm glad that I get to talk Legion with you guys, at least at minimum on the podcast. So I think it's been good, and I think it's kept us all engaged, and I, I've enjoyed going to events and everything and kind of doing the whole podcast thing, and love all the comments and feedback and everything we've gotten. So just really thankful for that.
Thankful for you, dear listener.
Yeah. And I'm also thankful I went first so I could take that because Randy was going to take it if I didn't.
Yeah, that was definitely my fallback. I can't pick one of the many Shadow Collective updates that happened.
Just all the stray bullets you've been catching.
Oh, what?
I am going to say I am thankful for LSO because that trip was awesome that we all got to take. Get in the house and hanging out, playing. Basically, I mean, we got to play Legion, of course, for 2 days, but then hanging out outside the house was really awesome. I think it really cemented our glue, our friendship, our whatever we have that makes this podcast work. So, yeah. And then I'm also thankful for AMG for doing biannual points updates because that's good.
That is big.
That's good.
Yes, I agree with those. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying not to do a memory because spoilers, we're doing that for something else.
Oh shoot!
But I am thankful for range 2 attack bands.
The bus being really good.
Yeah, man, Mitchem, if you could have played the bus in Legacy, you would not even be saying that.
Man, that's
it's disgusting.
Crazy.
It was degenerate. I hated the bus so much.
Man,
the first time,
I don't know what it was.
First time I played Travis.
I have my second bus. I just need to put it together and paint it. I don't know what I'm going to do paint wise, but
I remember hopping on Discord. Travis was like, hey, play me in TTS. And I was like, sure. And then he came out with like Ahsoka, Luke, and 2 buses and not much else. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, hope you brought Impact. And I was like, I sure didn't. And it was a bad time.
Yeah, I was talking to Travis about that at the time, and we were like, the trick to get around defensive tech is to just not let them roll defense dice. So we're just gonna run people over and melee pierce them.
Yeah, it was like clone troopers were like hiding on roofs, trying to stay away from these buses. They were just like running up, backing up, hitting, like turn around,
the
running everything
driver
over.
And displacement and all that.
It was horrible,
man.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So thank you, AMG, for getting rid of displacement. Sorry, Randy.
I don't have much to be thankful for. Humbug. Oh man.
I guess if you have a comment, let us know what you're thankful for in Legion this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Please do.
Or anything else you want to, we're kind of we'll take any kind of feedback you want to give us.
I got one. I am thankful for chess clocks. That's been a fun new enjoyment for me.
Huge.
I've really been enjoying the game at a faster pace.
Huge. Yeah, honestly, I have found it to be more enjoyable in casual play now. So just to,
if anything, just as a reminder to like, hey, get your game done. Because I mean, I can be a little bit of a chatty Cathy.
Hey, me too.
So, yeah.
I'm all about being chatty Cathy, but like I still want to win the game.
So. And I am the king of the chatty Cathys. It's me, Matt.
Yes, if you've not been to Oklahoma, we are in Oklahoma, and we have a thing here called the Oklahoma Goodbye, and it's where you get up from the couch and you go, well, I guess it's about that time, and then everyone walks out to the front door together, and they talk for another 10 or 15 minutes. Then they stand on the porch talking for another 10, 15 minutes. Then you go to the car and talk another 10 or 15 minutes, open the door and stand halfway into the car, talk another 10 or 15 minutes. And then you finally leave about an hour to hour and a half later. So
that's me.
Yeah.
In general. Yeah. So
yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It is what it is. I don't even mean to do it. You know what I mean? It's just like
lingerers.
Yeah.
You're soliciting. Get off my lawn.
But yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Hit us with what you're thankful for, Legion, this year. And also, if you have any questions for future episodes, hit us up. We will answer them probably badly, but we will answer them nonetheless.
I enjoy all the comments. I love checking my phone during the day and seeing comments, and just
yes, it's
nice.
Yeah,
so
well, some of you guys gotta go at We Are Fulcrum for number one.
I do not have a favorite. I do not have a favorite. Mitchem has a favorite.
Okay.
My favorite is still open.
You caught me. I'm sorry. You caught me.
I try not to read the comments. I'm afraid of internet comments.
I don't sit by my phone every day waiting for We Are Fulcrum to comment on my videos.
That is a lie. That is not true.
Not every day.
Yeah, not every day. No.
But yes.
So we do read every comment, and we reply to a vast majority of those comments.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to just let us know anything you think we should do or anything like that.
Okay.
Just let us know.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh well, I'm just. By the time this video is released, I will be in the middle of taking my PE exam. So that's going to be an all-day thing from 8 to 5. So wish me some luck, guys, and I'm gonna pass it this time. Third time's a charm.
And that's not physical education.
No, that is my professional engineering licensure exam.
Yeah, we would all fail the other PE exam.
It is. Yes, I will fail any physical you throw my way. This is me being a licensed engineer. So yeah, hopefully while you guys are enjoying this episode, I will be in the middle of an 8-hour test. So I hope you guys are having
acing it like you aced the Legion Key quiz, my friend. Absolutely.
Oh boy.
No, not like
that's
that.
not a good sign.
I do have an announcement. If you're hearing this Saturday on the 23rd, we have a tournament at Gilded Greyland, and Jerry's Game Shop will be streaming, and there's going to be some giveaways going on. I think we are going to sponsor a giveaway, maybe for some sleeper cells or something, and we are planning on throwing some of our XN1 PLIs in. So you guys should definitely check out that stream. We'll post it on the YouTube community as well as on Instagram, the link for that stuff. Maybe I'll play on stream and you guys can see how bad I am with Black Suns. But yeah, it's just watch and maybe you'll win some cool stuff for sure. And maybe Mitchem will hop on and talk during
I think I'll be on for a round.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to post up the link anywhere that we can. It'll be fun.
It'll be a good time. Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Love Jerry.
Yes.
It's like I say that every episode. That's like I had to say it.
Yeah, make sure to check out his Etsy shop.
Yep,
and
Jerry's Game Shop.
Code X1Rocks, get 10% off your purchase. So,
cool. Any other announcements? I don't think so.
Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Yep, all you Americans and people worldwide that also celebrate.
Or don't.
You know what? You don't need a holiday to go ham for some ham and turkey. Okay? You do you. Live.
You don't need a holiday to eat like an American. You can eat like that any day of the week.
Please don't eat like us.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Different topic.
This is what we call an Oklahoma goodbye.
Yeah, you're
everybody.
welcome.
This is you're in
I
the
feel
middle.
like you've all
of it.
experienced it now a little bit.
This is what's happening right now.
This is
Welcome
our
to
cultural
our
exchange.
plight. But anyways, thanks for listening, and remember, X and O is just another Garner away. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Welcome. You're back. We're back. Words are coming out of our mouths into your ears right now, if you're hearing this.